this is how we're going to do our painting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is how we start. You can organize it into, interpret it into...
This is softer.
Yeah, you need more ink. I will use more ink. Just put some more ink. Ink is maybe not enough. I usually put the ink first so that the color and the ink blend into each other. Okay, now we're going to dry mount this landscape we just did with plexiglass. It's still damp. So it's still damp, so we need to be a little careful.
You want it to be a little drier, are you saying?
No, we can do it as it's wet, because otherwise we have to spray some water. So it's good to have some moisture. Yeah. Although we call it dry mounting, but just like you iron a shirt, it helps with some, just a little bit moisture.
And is that wax paper?
Not really wet, but damp. Yeah.
That's special paper. And what is this paper called?
It's a silicone paper on the back. It's with a release paper on it. We call it backing paper or release paper. This is adhesive, and it will be heat activated with iron. And this is the painting. This is the paper without silicone film. We recycle it just for protecting otherwise the color will stick on the iron. Right?
So the one on top is just to protect.
Yeah, you can use a piece of newsprint or drawing paper. Yeah.
Instead of the paper that you're using.
Okay. So now we just to position it correctly. Yeah. Just be a little careful when the color is still wet. Yeah. You cannot move around. You have to hold it. Okay. The temperature is set to silk and wool in between. I think.
And no water. Just dry iron.
Dry iron. No steam. Just heat. It's 180 Fahrenheit. Yeah. It just take a few practice before you do an actual masterpiece.
Oh, that'll be a while.
The good thing is I haven't signed it, right? I can still do detailed work after it because it won't change the absorbency of the paper. You can still paint it. It's just like the shikishi board. It still absorbs. Shikishi board is a pre-mount art board with rice paper surface. Yeah. Now it's flat, so you can paint more detail without the wrinkles. You can write and sign.
And the silicone doesn't affect the absorbency of the paper in any way?
It will block the other side, so the paper won't penetrate through to the.
But it doesn't affect.
It doesn't affect the surface.
Do you have to control how wet it gets, or does that not make a difference?
What gets?
Not really.
I mean,
if you're going to continue to paint.
Good point. When you continue to paint, you don't want to make it soak it. Yeah.
Like you wouldn't do a heavy wash.
Exactly. You don't want to do heavy wash, but regular painting is okay. If you make it floating on the surface, it will. If you reach the point where it's completely soaked, it may separate it. Just like the paper, just on the plastic film.
But you could spray and damp dry. At this point, you could use a water spray.
You can still iron it back if that happens.
Oh, okay.
If it separates.
Oh, wow.
I can show you the.
That's great. So we don't need this wheat paste.
This is
stuff.
birds.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So you can release the backing and transfer it onto a watercolor paper or Bristol board. or foam board.
On that paper?
You can leave it on if you will, but you can also.
Oh, I thought you left it on that paper.
Yeah, just double it. So we use another piece of exactly the same paper to double it.
You get that texture.
You iron it again. Yeah.
Is it sticky in the back, or
It is sticky in the back. So we have a silicone attached to the painting now. So this is
Okay.
Vivian. Yeah, iron it again. Now you have the protecting piece from the back.
Oh, the silicone.
Silicone,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, go. This time no water because it's already flat. You don't have to spray any water. The first time the painting was wrinkled with wrinkles, so you can spray some water to relax it if it's dry. But since it's still damp, we didn't do that. We skipped that part. Right. Now it's perfectly flat, no wrinkles, but you can still see the texture created earlier.
Oh, that's terrific.
It looks it's still wet. That's the beauty of rice paper. 100 years from now, people can still feel the same as you did.
Wow.
It's still wet, like you just did. Yeah.
And the 100 years from now, this is not going to fade.
No,
We gotta
silicone
make
is
sure.
from the
No, I'm talking about this.
this. Oh, this is mineral color, so it's a very stable color. The brown also is from the red soil or the yellow soil. So it's very stable. Traditional color all comes from natural stone or plants, so it's relatively stable than chemicals. Yeah. The ink is permanent, of course. It will stay. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And it doesn't feel like you've done a whole... I mean, it still feels like a thin piece of paper.
Exactly.
So how often can you use the silicone?
That's it. That's done.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
Each sheet is
Yeah,
takes the silicone off.
right,
of it and
right.
it's
You
done.
can-
Okay.
You can put another silicone and make it thicker, like a board. You don't have to, because
So you
this
can
will
iron
be-
it onto
yeah.
a board. Once
You
do
now
this.
it's frame ready, so you can put it in
Oh
a
wow.
in a mat, and behind the mat or just a float in the middle of the frame.
can you peel it off, or
That's a good question. I think we didn't really iron. At this point, you can still separate, but when it's firmly,
It's not sticky like glue, the silicone, so it
Yeah.
will peel off.
theoretically, if you warm it up, you can peel it off. But be careful. It's still, it's a craft. It's not. It depends on your experience. Yeah.
It's great for scars.
You can use this for collage. So with a dyed paper or some, just color, you can put a silicone on back, and then you cut it to pieces, and then collage onto a different paper. I used to do that too. You can also make patches. If you don't like a spot, you can just take it out and then make another a patch. Easily, yeah. Iron on another piece, cover it. Yeah, you can just you can do that before you. There's many ways you can play with that because it's a dry paste, not messy as a wet mounting. There's no time in waiting to see the dry the highway.
I love that. I love that. It looks like a little mountain pass.
Yeah, so that just come out naturally.
Wow. Interesting.
What's really interesting too is that if you don't do too much with it, that you do the work yourself as an
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh, yeah, of course,
micromanaged.
My principle is you stop before you think it's finished, normally under 70%.
How do you know what 70% is?
The other 30% is white, emptiness. Yeah, you should leave those for the sky, maybe clouds and mists, atmosphere, or just the white stone highlights,
So you're saying that the 70% is how much you paint, and the 30% is the white.
The white space suggested for clouds, and we call it qi, the energy flow of energy. Yeah. The negative space should be at least 30%.
Thank you. That's great to know.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now we're going to sign this painting to finish after dry mounted. You can still do some touch-ups, like you can add a tree, flying birds, or something. But I just leave it as it is now. We'll just put a short signature. You can put the year. I just put a signature. In landscape, we need to sign in small letters, small characters, and use a small seal. So the painting in this landscape looks big. If you use a large seal,
Then it looks. I got it. Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
So we use a small seal.
Is that your name?
Yeah, my last name, Lee. This is my studio name. Yeah.
And then the red thing
The
is
red
your
head
last
is my
name.
last name. Yeah. You can put more seals, as we call mood seal, to just balance the composition. Sometimes to drive your eye back, into the paint, the focus. You can normally, if you do the seal here, you can do another seal on this side somewhere.
How can you tell in terms of balance?
It's just
Or is it just your opinion?
yeah, just an opinion, like a feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try. This is my studio also. Studio.
And is that just a really thick paint, the red?
Yeah, it's a cinnabar ink paste. Oil based, so you will cover this. You can cover the ink also. What do you think? Should I put here or here?
Up.
Up here.
Mm-hmm.
It could be anything, a saying or some phrase you like. This is my studio name, 记楼. It's from a poem. It says, after steering my land, reading my books or something like that. 鸡跟切以中. So we have some veggies.
Is that the saying for blue heron? Is that what you
blue
mean?
heron is different than as for our business. This is my study. I used to, when I was in college, I used this as my network name on internet too. 记楼主. Okay, yeah, that gets some, add a red color basically to the code. It just create more vibrant contrast. Okay, that's completes the entire painting.